From the stable at Stillwater Area High School, we present another edition of high school girls basketball. It's a winter wonderland outside. Inside, it's about to get heated up as two Suburban East Conference rivals battle it out. The Stillwater Area Ponies at 9-8 host the Forest Lake Rangers at 10-7. Greetings, everyone. Mike Peden alongside LaToya Turk, who is available tonight because her Roseville Raiders are taking a little break with all the winter weather. That being said, we have a solid matchup tonight. Stillwater's won 5 of their last 7, and they're hoping to continue that momentum with a win over a team that knocked them off by 12 in their first meeting.
Right. So, just like you said, this team has met. They've met before, so they know each other. I'm sure there's been a little scouting in between that. Both teams are riding on highs right now. They've had some good wins in these past few games, and so it'll be a nice matchup.
Stillwater, you know the story by now. They run through Sara Scalia and Alexis Pratt. Alexis, 7 points away from 1,000, and that milestone was enough to attract folks like the Tartan Titans, who are friends of hers, and a few others. And for an athlete who started her career in 7th grade to be this close already to a significant milestone is pretty impressive.
Oh, absolutely. But she's a dynamic player. So if you've seen her play, you can see why she's 7 points away from 1,000 points. So this will be an exciting game for her and her family and her friends who are here to watch.
And Sara, of course, still in the top 10 in the state scoring race. 6 30-point games this season. She'll probably get a few buckets of her own.
Yes, let's not forget about Sara.
I don't think we could if we wanted to.
Right.
For Forest Lake, they don't have the dynamic score in the same sense, but they have a pretty balanced unit. In the first meeting, 5 players scored in double figures, and Forest Lake's biggest win this year came against Roseville, so you got a first-hand look at how the Rangers operate, and it's not through one person. If they can get the three-point shot going, anybody can step up.
Oh, absolutely. And that seems to be the theme in the SEC. It's that there's not one particular dominant player on the team. That it's a team. It's truly a team effort. And with this Forest Lake team, they pass the ball, they look for the best shot, they get into their offense. So we'll see what they do tonight.
Well, let's get this started. We'll have the starting lineups in a moment, and then we'll really get started. This is high school girls basketball. And with that in-house rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, let's take a look at the starting 5 for the visiting Forest Lake Rangers. It's Lexi Holtman, number 11, the junior guard. Lindsey Johnson, number 20, the junior guard. Maddie Rice, number 25, the junior guard. Abigail Grunewig, number 30, the junior wing. And Abby Leach, number 40, the junior guard. Stillwater changing things up a little bit. You'll see Rachel Houle, the senior post player, number 11. Sara Scalia, number 14, the junior guard. Alexis Pratt, number 22, the freshman guard. Grace Cody, number 31. She's a sophomore post. And Liz Ogren, number 42, the senior post. And referencing our open with the Tartan team here, and they're going to get a little souvenir to take with them. You know the saying, game respects game, everybody knows everybody, yes. And it's cool to see members of a former conference rival, in the case of Alexis Pratt, because she started her varsity career at North St. Paul. It's cool to see that her once district rival is out here tonight to see her get 1,000.
Absolutely, and I'm a firm believer iron sharpens iron. And so when you have great players, I always try to encourage them to hang out with other great players. So we've seen that Tartan team play, and we know they have a couple of great players on their squad too.
So when you were a player, did you often go to games at Minneapolis North or South, or were you ever conference rivals when you were
all the time?
Taking part?
All the time.
And you weren't pelted with beer cans like Vikings fans were on Sunday?
No.
Well, I suppose you, at first of all, you can't sell beer at a high school game.
Right.
Let me ask this. Abe, have you recovered from Sunday's 38-7 debacle? He has not. I think most of us are still suffering a hangover.
The silent no. Slow
but at least De La Salle beat Holy Angels on Friday. Folks, if you haven't picked it up by now, the longer you do these games, the more it devolves into inside references and jokes and one-liners. But we've got ourselves a pretty solid one tonight. Now, both teams are in the middle of the Suburban East Conference standings. Cretin-Durham Hall, the leaders. Actually, they were supposed to tango with Roseville tonight for first place. That game has been rescheduled to February 7th. Neither of these teams will get that conference lead tonight, but that's going to stay Stillwater ball. I thought that was a backcourt.
I did too.
Because Stillwater won the tip, and Cody hadn't crossed the timeline yet.
We're all just warming up here.
The officials missed it. Well, if you're going to have that happen, better at the opening tip-off than in the final minute.
Right.
Here's Alexis Pratt. 4 straight 20-point games, including a 24-point effort in Stillwater's road win over Princeton. There's the deep three from Sara Scalia, and that's going to go behind the backboard for a dead ball rebound. Stillwater 9-8, Forest Lake 10-7. Both teams 4-4 in conference play, but Forest Lake, Alexis Pratt pokes the ball away from Forest Lake and misses the layup. Sara Scalia is there and can't get the Plinko bounce, and the rebound goes to Abby Leach. In the case of Forest Lake, it's not just the conference they're in a battle for. They're also competing to get one of those top seeds in Section 7-4A. If the season were to end today, they would get the 2 seed behind Anoka. They did lose to Anoka, and Stillwater stepped on the line. Forest Lake did lose to Anoka at the start of the season, so Anoka would have that advantage come seeding time. But this Forest Lake team recently knocked off St. Francis, and they have a good chance of getting out of that section into the state tournament bracket. Section 7, usually not the strongest in the state, but someone's got to go to state, and once you get there, you never know.
Right. Well, we're going to see how well how well their backcourt looks against this Stillwater backcourt.
Well, we know Sara Scalia's acceleration looks pretty good.
Yeah.
She gets on the board, and that gets us started. And Forest Lake does have some state tournament experience. Abigail Gronowig and Lindsey Johnson were members of the volleyball team that reached the 3A state tournament earlier this year. Stillwater having some as well with Rachel Houle.
Okay.
There are some athletes between these two teams. It's Stillwater ball with 16:10 remaining. Pratt guarded by Maddie Rice. Here comes Pratt, and she's blocked by Abby Leach. Lexi Holtman pulls up from 14, can't bank it. Rebound Cody. Scalia to Hool. Pratt was cutting inside, but she'll go to Liz Ogren instead. Here's Alexis.
And when she sees it, she'll go for it.
We've seen that a few times. Forest Lake sealed her off.
And it's nice to have Sara back there as your safety.
And Scalia knocks down the step-back tray.
And it's nice to have a step-back tray in your skill set, too.
Your ESP must be working at full capacity tonight. Did you and Sara talk before the game, get on the same wavelength?
I think we've always been on the same wavelength.
Maddie Rice looked like she was going to take the three. Holtman will. No good. Rebound, no putback. Forest Lake will try again. And the Rangers will get a fourth attempt on this possession.
So good. I like Stillwater making that adjustment and closing that middle up. That's a lot of contact there.
Gronaway couldn't get that one to fall. Forest Lake having some trouble scoring down low. The Ponies did go out to a double-digit lead in the first meeting back in December.
Squeeze it. Good hustle.
Before Forest Lake came back in the second, knocking down a barrage of trays en route to victory. Pratt sees a lane, will attack. Can't get it to fall. Poole for three. Off the heel. Well, at least the rebounds are piling up here.
Right.
The way this is going, both teams are going to have some healthy rebounding numbers. 14:08 left in the first half. Rangers trailing 5-0. Johnson to Rice. To Holtman. Three on the way. That's short from Maddie Rice, and the rebound, Scalia. Sara, kick out. Pratt thought about the three. You see Forest Lake not giving her much space to work with, and that's one thing Alexis Pratt has excelled at all season, and that's getting to the line.
Oh, absolutely. When she sees that, it just takes a little bit of space for her to attack the basket. She does that very well. I call it taking you off the bounce.
Alexis Pratt, 4 straight 20-point games. She's being checked out by the official to see if she's all right. Looked like she took some contact to the face.
And that was one thing that you and I talked about earlier, was the amount of contact that she's taking. She just go to the basket. She drives to the basket a lot, and she is taking a lot of contact. And I think sometimes you see her go to the basket so much, you take that for granted. But contact is contact, and I think she should get those calls. And maybe that's why she's at the free throw line so much.
10 games this season with 20 points or more. 11, I should say, for Alexis Pratt. Pratt makes both. But that is something. We've talked about the improvement Alexis Pratt has made all season. The number of 20-point games she had just 2 a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Rice goes through and gets
Nice
the Euro
step
step en route to the rim. And that gets Forest Lake on the board. Forest Lake, you could say, was spared by yesterday's snowstorm. Stillwater and east side of the metro, not so much. Sara Scalia is going to shoot too.
Right.
How did you survive the snowmageddon yesterday?
Yesterday was actually my scheduled day off, so.
Perfect timing.
Yes.
And here's someone who stepped up as well, Sara Scalia. She had just 2 30-point games last year. She's up to 6 this year, and averaging 25.9. And with Alexis closing in on 1,000, we should point out that every point Sara makes adds to the school scoring record.
Yes. 2 great players.
Forest Lake making a substitution. Grace Van Bergen, number 23, on the floor. Last touch by the Ponies. Delaney Wagner also on the floor for the Ponies, making her first appearance.
And we got the 2 Scalia sisters up top on this zone for Stillwater.
And Willie Taylor, I spoke with him briefly before the game. He really likes the potential of Amber Scalia, the 8th grader. Deep 3 for Sara, and a little too deep.
Use more legs, Sara. Use more legs.
But as we've seen many times before, she's not afraid to launch them from deep. Amber Scalia with the steal. Doesn't have the numbers for a fast break, so she'll back off. Sara will reset. Cody was calling for it. Pump fakes. Goes up. Can't get the runner to fall. Rebound, Van Bergen. And Forest Lake can't hook up on the pass on the outlet play, so they'll go back to Stillwater.
And this Stillwater team, they're running the floor much better than when we saw them last time. So they're getting down the floor. Their transition defense looks much better.
Remember, they did win 5 of their last 7. Struggled a bit with Cretin-Durham Hall. The game was actually tied at halftime at 29. Cretin got on a big run midway through the second. Stillwater didn't respond until it was too late. But Sara Scalia feeds Rachel Houle down low, and the senior and volleyball standout gets on the board. 11-2 in favor of the Ponies. This game taking shape much like the first meeting. Holtman to Johnson. We'll kick it out to Gronaway. Van Bergen, step back. Can't knock down the 3. Amber Scalia with the rebound.
That was a pretty decent defensive transition there for Stillwater.
Wagner missed everything on the corner 3. Gronaway with the board. Mid-range J does not fall for Holtman. Rebound, though, won by the Rangers.
Boy, Rachel Houle's really making her presence felt there in the middle.
Another empty possession for the Rangers. Scalia, long skip to her sister. Now back out. Sara took a tumble. Stillwater turns it over. And free throws coming for Abigail Gronaway. Gronaway, labeled one of the best athletes on the team by head coach Jen Wagner. Wagner in her 13th season leading the Rangers. And Alexis Pratt's going to go back in for the Ponies. And Sara's going to take a breather. You don't see this too often. Sara on the bench. Gronaway knocks down both free throws. She averages 12 a game. As we noted, Forest Lake doesn't have a super score. Their highest is Maddie Rice at 12.5. Ball is live. Jump ball, Forest Lake with the arrow. Forest Lake, their biggest wins coming against Roseville and St. Francis.
Good ball rotation.
Can't get the three to fall. But there for the cleanup is Maya Tanberg, and that was set up by the ball movement by the Rangers.
Right. And the box out. Got to box out on those shots. I'd like to see Stillwater just run through their offense, make Forest Lake move.
As we've noted many times, their offense goes through Sara, Scalia, and Alexis Pratt, a foul from behind on the Rangers. If they can find some other scoring, it can work to their benefit, but in the first meeting between these two teams, Sara Scalia and Alexis Pratt had 44 of Stillwater's 57 points.
Wow. And was Rachel Hull out at that time?
No, Hull was playing, but they just couldn't find a lot of help. But that's been the story most of the year with the Ponies. Cody to Wagner. In and out.
It's a good shot.
Rebound Van Bergen. Rangers have a chance to cut into this deficit even further.
Someone step up.
Van Bergen. Bounce pass. Johnson. Baseline J. Swish. The Rangers have scored the last 6. Pratt over to Hull.
I mean, they have to actually set the pick. Sarah's really trying to get open, but I call them air picks. Her teammates are setting air picks for her. They actually have to set the pick on her defender, where she has to run them off of her player. Otherwise, she's going to be burning energy.
Cody's 3 off the screen went in and out. Stillwater, they've had a couple of those shots rattle out as of late. Everything going in for the Rangers. Logan Anderson gets on the board.
And they're on a little scoring run here.
It's an 8-0 run. And Alexis Pratt called for carrying.
I think she thought about pulling up.
Stillwater's strong start. Going out the window here. And this is a pretty young Forest Lake team, just 3 seniors.
Yeah, both teams only have 2 seniors on their roster.
Forest Lake has 3, none of them start. A lot of juniors and sophomores. The juniors have played together for a while, and there's one of them. Rangers take their first lead of the game, and Gronaway gets a chance for 3. Gronaway, part of a junior core that has been on the varsity team since 9th grade. And they've been the leadership council for this program, for this team, I should say. Gronaway completes a 3-point play. The Rangers extend their run to 11-0.
Knowing that that's the defensive matchup for Alexis, I'd get the ball back to her.
Scalia for 3. Bullseye.
And Laura will take that shot as well.
Willie Taylor certainly will. Gronaway in trouble. Scalia can't deflect it in time.
And I think I'm buying into the Kool-Aid that he's selling about how Sara is one of the best players in the Metro right now.
Forest Lake almost throws it away. Gronaway. Double teamed. A favorable deflection. And Logan Anderson takes advantage of the fortuitous situation.
And Forest Lake takes the lead for the first time in the game.
The second time, actually. But it's 15-14.
I'm so glad I have you here to clean up my mess.
Pratt for 3. Banks it in. Now, according to her mother, the next field goal for Pratt would put her at 1,000. Willie Taylor and his crew had Alexis at 10 away. Either way,
It's going to happen tonight.
Most likely. Although Destiny Oberg, her double-double streak came to an end on Friday when she fouled out in the Holy Angels de La Salle game, so let's not write this just yet. As Forest Lake isn't backing down. Maya Tanberg scores, and the Rangers have 8 points from the bench already. We're tied at 17. Scalia left alone. Can't knock down the three this time.
Trap right there, ladies.
And that's going to be a foul on Pratt, her first. 6:04 remains in the first. And from the looks of it, I'd say the entire Tartan team is here.
Yes.
I saw Azaria, Nevaeh Meester. I didn't know Alexis Pratt had such a following.
Oh, yeah. Those girls hang out in the summer. I mean, they work out together. They're actually friends off the court.
Scalia this time gets the steal. She averages just under 5 a game and goes coast to coast. Groneweg. Harsh angle, got her own miss. Finds a cutting, Lindsey Johnson. And the back and forth action continues. Pratt can't get the bounce. Johnson with the rebound. Johnson.
This would be a great game to coach.
Well, someone decided to step away from coaching. This is a tight one. Again, both teams in the middle of the pack in the Suburban East, but they're both are fighting for section seeding as well, so every win is important. If the season were to end now, Stillwater, we mentioned Forest Lake earlier, Stillwater, based on QRF, would have the 3 seed over Tartan. That being said, Tartan beats Stillwater, so the Ponies need as many wins as they can get to convince the coaches to seed the Ponies ahead of them. Forest Lake was looking to go backdoor again. Ogren got the deflection. She thought it should have gone off the Rangers, but
maybe they can't see. We can't see what they see, right? They're closer.
The refs are closer, and I didn't see anything to say otherwise, suggest otherwise, but you probably know as a player, you're always going to argue that it's your ball.
Yeah.
It's never the other team's ball.
Never, of course.
Groneweg, bounce pass out to Van Bergen. Stillwater really going after the passing lanes, trying to get some transition going. Groneweg for 3. Yes!
Inside, outside, how do you want it?
Groneweg up to 8. And the Rangers take their largest lead of the game, 22-19.
And spacing Stillwater, open it up.
Cody is fouled by Groneweg, much to her displeasure. That's going to be the second on Abby. And that's just an unfortunate miscue in the part of Groneweg, because it gives Cody free throws. Cody starting in place of Allison Benning. Grace Cody enjoys eating pasta for her pregame meal, but she missed both free throws. Jump ball, Stillwater with the arrow. Well, it looks like Takara Mason's mother is becoming a freelance photographer tonight.
Yes. You can always find her at the gym with her camera.
And you can find Sara Scalia at the three-point line as she pulls off the side fade.
Yeah.
One of Kobe Bryant's favorite moves. So that ties the game at 22. Rangers can't break it there. Pratt with the rebound. Alexis, 16-footer. Can't get the bounce. Leach. Goes to Van Bergen. Anderson inside to Leach. Through traffic. Cool.
That was a nice cut by the freshman number 34, Logan Anderson.
Oh, Pratt walked. Well, DeMaia wants Alexis to get those 2 points, but you can't. You got to dribble before you go. You got to dribble before you drive.
It was just light speed. He missed it.
No, I saw Pratt. Pratt jumped a little too soon.
She's probably just as excited now as we are.
Well, she seemed to shrug it off when her teammates brought up the milestone tracker. Sara Scalia knocks down another 3.
There's no shortage of points coming from that end, though.
And remember, Sara Scalia, one of the state leaders in 3-point field goals. She's up to 18 points.
In the first half.
High, low, and the reverse. For number 35, Catherine Taylor. That's 10 points now coming out of the Forest Lake bench. Sara, kick out. Pratt for 3.
Got her.
The Tartan fan base and the Stillwater fans here are all waiting to erupt. And Forest Lake.
That was a
finds
nice
hole.
give and go there. What did you think of that give and go?
I'd say that was a go-go gadgets bucket for Lindsey Johnson. You want to know something? The man who voiced Inspector Gadget was also the leading role in the 60s incarnation of Get Smart, offensive foul on the Ponies. I forget the actor's name, but he played Maxwell Smart in Get Smart, and then 20 years later was the voice behind Inspector Gadget.
I did not know that.
I have no idea why I know it.
You're just smart like that.
Actually, Inspector Gadget was partially inspired by Maxwell Smart, so that makes sense. Ogren with the deflection and strips the ball away. Scalia feeling it. That looks off, and it is. That last foul was on Alexis Pratt, her second, and so Willie Taylor taking her out. High-low again. Rangers can't finish, though. Sara's calling the play. That was close to a 10-second. But Stillwater taking their time.
Just assessing the situation. They're going to hold it for a last shot here.
Forest Lake's going to bring the defense up. Sara.
Nice seal.
Poole didn't get the pass in cleanly, though.
Don't
and
foul.
That may have
Don't
cost
bail her out. Get out of there, Rachel. Or
Forest
Sara.
Lake looking to break the Stillwater press again. They cannot. 5 seconds.
And we know she can do this.
You knew that was coming. But that's going to be short. So Alexis Pratt, not quite at 1,000 yet. We'll have to wait until the second half. 26-25 the score in favor of Forest Lake. Forest Lake, 10 points coming out of their bench. For Stillwater, 18 points for Pratt. But as we've seen with Stillwater before, if they don't get her some help, that could be problematic.
Right.
But I guess you wouldn't expect anything different with two teams that share identical records in conference play.
Yeah, they're gonna battle this out until the end. And so we'll see what adjustments Willie makes at halftime. We'll see what adjustments the Forest Lake team, what they make. Alexis has 2 fouls, so she's got to play smarter defensively.
So we'll go to this performance that's about to take part, and we'll come back for the second half. You're watching high school girls basketball. Mike Peden and LaToya Turk with you. You missed a wonderful conversation about beverages during halftime. Forest Lake leading Stillwater 26-25. Rangers with 10 points off the bench. Abigail Gronewig leads all Rangers with 8 points for Stillwater. You have 18 points from Sara Scalia. The rest of the team just 7. Alexis Pratt, 5 points. Unofficially 2 away from 1,000. And your daughter's still going on about soda consumption. There was one time I drank 70 ounces in one night.
Oh, my goodness.
It was after a church bell choir concert that I took part in. Let's just say my kidneys were not happy with me the following day.
I'm more church bell choir. And what was your role in that?
I don't remember this. I don't remember the specifics, but I know I was recruited because they were looking for someone with a strong mathematical skill.
Okay.
And I have a thing with numbers, as you may have picked up on. Mounds Park, UMC, way back when I had hair. Back to action. Forest Lake extends their lead to 4. Abby Leach with the 3-pointer.
And we know this Forest Lake team can shoot, so Stillwater's got to be aware of that.
They used 3-pointers as their ticket to knocking off Stillwater in the first meeting. That will stay with the Ponies, but that was an ill-advised pass on the part of Houle.
Right, because help side defense was right there. Stillwater has a great pass and cut.
Alexis Pratt with the layup. And if her mother's tally is correct, that officially puts Alexis Pratt at 1,000 points. Again, the coaches said she needed 10, so if she can pick up a couple more buckets here, then there will be no doubt. Forest Lake, pump fake. What a beauty, Lindsey Johnson.
And a pump fake works when, Mike?
Almost every single time. I say almost because once in a while you still might miss a bucket, but the intent is still true. Pump fake only works every single time. Rice, spin move, weaves through the hole, floats it in.
That was just a nice offensive move right there. I think she knows Pratt has 2 fouls. She's going to take it to her, make her life easier if she's not on the floor.
Jen Wagner said that Maddie Rice has the highest IQ of any player on the floor for the Rangers. High IQ, great score, and Forest Lake, though, getting a lot of help, much like they did in the first meeting. They had 5 double-digit scores in the 69-57 victory. Pratt. And that's what you call a bailout.
Yeah. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking we were here the second half of the junior varsity game, and as far as I know, players get 3 halves a night.
Correct.
And so
a maximum of 3, so yes, varsity can play 1 half of JV if they wish.
Right, so there's a player on the floor that I'm questioning if she played 2 halves JV, and now she's on her second half of varsity as well. But we'll leave that up to the Stillwater assistant coaches to
I'm sure the coaches keep track of that. Pratt misses both free throws. Stillwater leaving some points at the line as of late, and Forest Lake, their lead continues to grow. And it may grow again. Another cut inside. Maddie Rice scores once more. Maddie Rice displaying that high IQ that Jen Wagner is so fond of.
Great.
Scalia off the screen. Tried to feed it to Cody, and once again, Cody just swarmed by Forest Lake defenders.
I think she was expecting her to roll hard.
As we've noted before, in the case of Stillwater, nobody could get open. Lindsey Johnson picks it off. Sara Scalia says right back at you, but Lily Taylor has noted the difference in talent between Scalia and Pratt and everyone else on the team.
Right.
You know, he certainly doesn't admonish that, but he understands that Pratt and Scalia are at a higher level.
I think we all noticed that.
And I ran into Sarah's father at the Cretin-Durham Hall game, and he said even though it's been slow coming, a slow build as Gronowake steps on the baseline, turns it over, he noted that with the arrival of the Scalias, it's helping build up the youth programs. They're putting more investment into that, and they're confident that in a year or 2, you'll see some stronger players coming out of the ranks at Stillwater.
Well, that's one thing that Coach Willie Taylor can do. He attracts great players, and he knows how to coach. So I think he has the ability to create great players.
Timeout by the Ponies, 35-27. 14:49 left in the second half. And here are some notes about Forest Lake that I think all of you are going to find really, really cool. Grace Van Bergen, when she's not playing basketball, active in the Special Olympics program up at Forest Lake. Maya Tanberg is going to Division II Arkansas Monticello on a golf scholarship.
Oh, nice.
And Catherine Taylor is a National Merit Scholar.
Fantastic.
Got a 35 on her ACT.
Oh my goodness, amazing. As a coach, I love smart athletes.
I could only muster a 27, so props to you, Catherine, for making me look foolish. No, we tease. That being a National Merit Scholar, 35 on the ACT, she's going to go places.
She can go wherever she wants to go.
Cool. Sees a lane, and she's fouled by Leach. Rachel Houle, as we noted, the volleyball standout, went to state this year. One of the top volleyball athletes
And that would be a smart move, keep letting Rachel drive to the basket, get some of those Forest Lake players in foul trouble, open up that middle a little bit for Stillwater.
Get to the line. Rachel Hull, by the way, her pregame meal is Noodles and Company. And I know Noodles is a popular spot for a lot of athletes. Forest Lake drives again. Rice can't complete it, though. Ogren with the rebound. Stillwater on the move. Pratt. That's an offensive foul. That'll be her third.
I'm at a loss for words.
It's one of those things where I don't know. I can't say whether or not that was the right call, but Leach was set. I know Pratt likes to drive to the rim. As a coach, sometimes I feel, and again, it's easy when you're up here, but if you're in that situation, don't be afraid to pull up.
Yeah, and we talked about that, having a pull-up game, which is always going in that lane.
Because in that case, Leach was expecting a drive. If you pull up,
and
that forces her to be honest.
And Coach Willie's going to take a chance and leave her in with 3 fouls.
3. That
Rice
rattles
is
out.
filling it.
That'll stay with Forest Lake. As we said, Forest Lake in a battle for that 1 seed in Section 7 4A against Anoka. Section 7 historically not a strong one in the 4A bracket, but that's not going to dissuade folks like Abby Leach from converting the inbound feed. Rangers up by 9. The Ponies had an 11-2 start, and they're going to call the blocking foul. Sara Scalia may have gotten away with an elbow. I saw a little bit of a push off it. You did too? Oh, boy. You know, when you're up here, you just sometimes...
I'm just going to, what we say, sip my tea, Mike.
With Kermit the Frog, right?
Yep. Yep.
That's none of my business.
Right.
Scalia rebounds her own miss. A little behind the back, and she ends up losing the ball. Gruneweg on the run, yes.
Way to stay composed and under control. Finish at the basket.
And Scalia has yet to score in the second half. And this problem has afflicted the Ponies throughout the season, where they've struggled a bit in the second half. And even though they had a late run against Cretan, they ran out of time to complete the comeback.
Yeah, I would like to see Stillwater get a little more active offensively.
Now, Willie Taylor's excited about the players that will come in over the next year or two, but as we've said before, this is also a team playing a bit shorthanded without Maddie Whittington.
Yeah.
Delaney Wagner gets on the board. She's another Noodles fan when it comes to pregame meals.
There must be one nearby.
You can find just about everything here in Stillwater. Pizza Ranch, McDonald's, Culver's. My go-to is Brine's. Brine's Market.
Okay.
You will not find better sandwiches in the Stillwater area.
I'll have to check it out.
And while you're there, you can pick up some deli meats. They make their own jams, jellies, sweets.
They're going to need to pay for that advertisement, Mike.
Wagner swipes the outlet feed from the Rangers, Sara Scalia, and she gets called for the offensive foul. Abby Leach again. Abby Leach knows how to park it down there.
Yeah, she's quite deep underneath the basket, too.
Well, remember, there's no restricted zone.
Right. There isn't in high school. I'm so surprised that they're calling. Some refs will still honor it.
Amber steals the inbound pass. Pratt on the bench for now. Willie going to save the freshman with 3 fouls. Almost a turnover on the Ponies, and Cody, well, that goes off of Forest Lake, but Cody just threw it up. Now, if I were coaching, that would not be a shot I would recommend taking when
Right.
Gronoway is right in your face. Poole missed the elbow J. Rebound is tipped. Gronoway picks it up. Holtman pump fakes, kick out. Another pump fake from Van Bergen, and the Rangers.
Oh, there's a
will be
lot of
set.
standing around.
And Sara Scalia
To the rescue.
comes in. She sees a lane and takes it. Willie Taylor noted that Forest Lake would try to contain her with a box and one, but you can only contain Sara for so long.
Right.
Or as Dan Patrick would say, you can't stop her, you can only hope to contain her.
She's a smart player.
Almost got the steal there, but it goes to Holtman, and she'll draw the foul on Houle.
She's so composed. Sara's so composed.
Her instinct is just on another level compared to that of her teammates. Now that's just the first on Rachel Houle, and outside of Alexis Pratt, no one in really any big foul trouble here. Another inbound conversion.
They're doing a great job on that seal underneath the basket.
Maya Tanberg, the beneficiary this time. She's up to 6. Sara floats it in again. And Stillwater needs every last point right now they can get.
Watch the middle, ladies.
Gronoway blows to the hole and scores.
That was too easy. That was a nice move.
As Darth Vader would say, all too easy. Sara Scalia kicking out. Wagner has it now. And Houle is cut off. Forest Lake calling a timeout, but it's the Rangers with all the momentum right now. They lead 43-34 with 10:49 remaining. And even though these two are in the middle of the Suburban East Conference race, you know, for Forest Lake, they pick up a win. They aren't that far behind from Woodbury and Park of Cottage Grove. They're just a couple games back from Roseville, a team they defeated in the first meeting. The rematch between those two, if you're wondering, will be February 9th.
And by that time, both teams will have good competition underneath their belt. They'll be nice, well-oiled machines, so that'll be a good game. They match up pretty well.
And Jen Wagner, the head coach, told me, you know, at times Forest Lake plays really well. There's been some inconsistency, again, because they're so young. The sophomores, for example, don't have a lot of varsity experience. But when they're clicking, she feels they can play with the best. And we saw that when they knocked off Roseville. I know that's a sore spot for you, but
Not really. They have to see us again, so.
that's true. But, you know, they beat a top 10 team. And and as you know, in the Suburban East, you know, nobody's undefeated. Cretan-Durham Hall lost to Mounds View. Well, there's always a chance.
We all have a night or two.
You never know what will happen in Suburban East competition. Johnson. Houle with the block. 1-on-4, usually not going to turn out well in your favor.
Yeah.
And Alexis Pratt still on the bench. And we'll see when she goes back in. You know it'll happen eventually. High, low, Cote lays it in. Cody, I should say.
Nice slip, and that's what we need to see out of Stillwater. We need to see them stay patient on their offense and play solid defense.
Scalia stealing the inbound pass. There's Amber Scalia. Wagner can't get open, so Stillwater will have to settle for a set play. Another side fade. Bullseye! Sara Scalia up to 25.
We'll settle for a step-back three from Sara Scalia.
That's her 5th three-pointer. And just like that, the Ponies have cut a 9-point deficit to 4. And they needed that. Holtman. Over to Van Bergen. Groneweg. She has a hole. She'll take it. High off the window and a foul. That's going to go against Forest Lake. And that will be the third on Abby Groneweg. And Alexis Pratt going back in.
Here we go.
Groneweg will sub out. Abby Leach will take her spot. 9:19 left. Let's see if Alexis Pratt has figured out a way past that Forest Lake defense. Well, Sara Scalia able to get her points, but Forest Lake doing a stellar job on Pratt, sealing off the lane. But still plenty of time in this one. And Sara Scalia will not be denied. Cody for three. That's short. Poole is there and gets the Plinko bounce.
Nice put back.
And this is what was missing from Stillwater in the first half. And Sara Scalia, she's feeling it now. Wide open, Lexi Holtman, and she misses the layup. Oh, you got to make those bunnies.
Yes, it happens to the best of us.
Look out. Oh, my goodness.
Somebody came to play today.
What? Was that a heat check or was that a heat check? Can you say confident? I think I've seen enough. I'm ready to. I
wanted to do a Sara cheer right now.
You and I, we don't need to see any more. We can just go home now, right? But Forest Lake not ready to bow out of this just yet. The Ponies have scored 10 in a row. Holtman with the answer. Swish. That's the first basket for Lexi Holtman. That ends the 10-0 Stillwater run.
We got to hit Stillwater's got to keep moving.
Wagner to Cody. Almost threw it away. Pratt off the screen. And not a bad move on her part. I thought she was going to go for the three, but got Abby Leach out of position, and that's the last foul to give for the Rangers.
She's taking a banging. Started off the game with getting hit in the face, and she's limping now. She's a tough cookie, though.
Scalia, the quick release. Swish!
Wow.
The seventh 30-point game this season for Sara Scalia. And Stillwater retakes the lead. That's a travel. Maddie Rice used up the dribble.
I think I'm going to reserve that comment.
What did you say? I can't make out what you said.
She thinks that ref's whistle's broken.
That was a travel though. Sometimes it takes them a second to process it, but
okay.
Cody, three ball. Cannon from the corner. Amber Scalia with the hustle play. Pratt misses the three. Last touch by Johnson. It will stay with the Ponies. Sara Scalia, by the way, 7 3-pointers.
Amazing.
And Stillwater has needed every one of them. Cody in traffic. That usually doesn't work out well. Leach picks it up. Forest Lake trying to run with it, and they will not. Rice couldn't catch up in time.
And Stillwater got a bye on that one. If Maddie would have been able to get that under control, she had two other players sprinting down the floor, so we got to get back on defense.
All about efficiency.
Now let's just move the ball, Stillwater. And look at your safety back here, Sara.
Forest Lake in the box and 1. Stillwater trying to penetrate inside. Rangers not letting that happen, but Tony's being patient. And patience paying off there. Pratt saw an opening, dumped it off to Houle, and now Rachel goes to the line. By the way, Sara Scalia, new season high for 3-point field goals.
Nice.
Her previous mark was 6, which happened here at the stable when the Ponies scored a runaway win over Woodbury. And Rachel Houle knocks down the front end. Doesn't score a lot, just 5.4.
But her last 2 trips to the free throw line have been because of her drives to the basket, getting fouled on her drives to the basket. So.
And a foul on Houle. That will be her second. Stillwater with 2 to give. Houle split there, and free throws have been problematic in that case. But going into this game, the scoring distribution, much like that game with Forest Lake, if you go by averages, Scalia and Pratt averaging about 44 points a game. The rest of the team averaging 22.
And this press from Stillwater seems to be giving Forest Lake a little bit of trouble here.
Well, Stillwater is the highest scoring team, though, in the conference. And that went off of Lindsey Johnson's leg. Forest Lake looking a little rattled here, and Jen Wagner's going to call a timeout to try to reel in her troops.
Just take your time. We all have a press offense, so run your press offense, get the ball up the court, get in your set.
5:47 to go. 2-point game.
Having such a young team, sometimes as a coach, you have to take that time out and have that conversation.
And you see those characteristics somewhat in younger teams. Tartan is another one where you have a lot of talent, but they're still working on getting that poise.
One team that we have watched that they're a young team and they do have that poise is Wayzata.
Who can forget that one?
Yeah, and we do it a couple of times where they stay the course and they get into their system.
And no deficit faces them. I know Willie Taylor was amazed that he was surprised to hear that they had to come back from 4 points in the last minute, but that's what Wayzata does. That's their signature. They don't blow teams out, but they find a way to win. Pratt. They're going to call a blocking foul that time on Leach, and it's been tough for Alexis Pratt today.
Yeah.
But Forest Lake, and I'm sure most teams aware of her speed.
Yeah.
And so they're going to clog the lane whenever they can.
Yeah, I would love to see her add to her arsenal a pull-up game. I mean, she can shoot. She'll shoot off the pick, but just to be able to shoot off the dribble to keep her from being in that lane so much.
Now, Alexis Pratt, when asked about her pregame meal, she says, "I don't eat anything." And you know, if that's the case, she might be the most amazing athlete I've ever met. Scoring nearly 20 points a game, and she doesn't eat anything.
I'm like, imagine
I'm sure she does.
If we added a little fuel to that.
But Pratt does knock down both free throws to extend the Stillwater lead to 5. Gronaway breaks free. Can't bank it off the window. Pratt with the board. Pratt
feeling it.
Drives again.
Feeling
she
it.
won't be denied this time. And there it is. Confirmation is official. The Tartan players acknowledging it. The officials trying to clear them off, but Alexis Pratt has 1,000 points, and Amber Scalia has a run out. The officials having to keep the Tartan fans.
I don't think they understand the magnitude of what's happening.
And the official, I don't think they understand that the officials need their space too, but
yeah,
you got to give props. Alexis Pratt, officially a 1,000-point score.
And there's Sara dancing again. Oh, guys.
The coaches said 10, her mother said 7. It doesn't matter now.
They're not on the court. Let them have fun.
But how about that last play by Scalia?
Absolutely.
She got the steal and nothing but wide open spaces.
And the backcourt pressure from Stillwater is so nice. It's effective for them against this Forest Lake team. So I wonder how many steals they have and how many turnovers Forest Lake has.
This is where I wish I'd have a statistician, like you have in college and the pros.
Yes.
But give props to Stillwater. I mean, we've seen a lot of ebb and flows, and they go up by 9. Forest Lake answers. They go up by 9. Stillwater has answered back. In fact, going back to the 9-point edge by Forest Lake, the Ponies are on a 20-3 run.
Once again, if everyone had been in place for the Ponies, that would have been a turnover for Forest Lake.
And they turn it over anyway. And those are the worst kind, the unforced errors. What is going on with the Rangers? I mean, if you're Stillwater, you're loving this late surge with 4.5 to play, but Forest Lake, a little bit of bizarre. Timeout, Stillwater. They had 4 remaining, but it's been a bizarre last few minutes if you're the Rangers.
Right. Got to play till the end, right?
Well, that's what Stillwater's been doing.
Yeah.
But we still have a lot of time, so no one has won this game just yet. Well, that was cool, though, that the Tartan fans are ready. They even made a sign for Alexis.
Yes. And now they're all posting it on their Snapchat, Instagram.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a chance those two schools may face each other again in sections. Remember, Stillwater and Tartan both in Section 4, but again, as that race goes, we mentioned Forest Lake and their fight for that 1 seed in Section 7. Stillwater, they're trying to stay ahead of Tartan for that 3 seed. It's looking more and more likely that they will host a first-round game this year. White Bear Lake has fallen off a bit. St. Paul Central, East Ridge, and North St. Paul just out of the running.
Yeah.
East Ridge has yet to win a game. Creighton still at the top. So, even though there's no conference lead at stake here, every win counts for section seeding. Because remember, it goes by coaches' vote. And what are the coaches going to look at? Who you beat.
Right.
And who beat you.
Yep. Oh, it's going to be so nice next year when we have both of the Scalias out on the floor and
Well,
Pratt.
we have them out right now.
Yeah.
We'll get more of them next year.
Right.
Foul is on Abby Leacher, 4th. Rachel Houle back to the line. She has split her first 2 trips. 75% free throw shooter and leaves that one empty.
I think a little development for Amber over in the off season. And she'll be able to help Alexis with some of the point guard role. And then Sara can just shoot the lights out.
We've seen that tonight, 7 3-pointers. Forest Lake in trouble. Leach open down low. How many times have I told you my love for backdoor plays?
Yes.
Leach just camped down underneath. Big bucket. If you're the Rangers, Houle left alone. That could have been a dagger.
Oh, yes, it would have been.
But the Rangers still not out of it.
Come on, sprint back, Ponies.
Groneweg. The kick out. Leach for 3. Yes!
And she started the second half with the 3-pointer, and here we are now.
We told you this game was far from over. It's Sara Scalia time. She goes up to 33. Gronaway through the lane. She's had some trouble on drives.
And she gets to the basket as finishing.
Sara Scalia, the side fade. You bet!
Whoa!
I'm
about
Sara
to
Scalia.
become a
I get
cheerleader.
buckets. Her 8th three-pointer.
I want a number 14 jersey.
Get in line. I just like how you're excited by Sara Scalia's breakout tonight. Your daughter is stoic. I don't think your daughter's flinched at all. Well, she's probably taking notes for next week's game. I know.
Like if I
Next Tuesday when Stillwater and Roseville meet up again.
Yeah, if we weren't on the mics right now, I'd probably be yelling out, "Hey, Sara!"
I think everyone, well, I'm sure Abe is just as impressed. What a game for Sara Scalia.
Is that 8 threes?
8 three-pointers. By the way, Sara Scalia's nickname is Scals, and her pregame food of choice is cereal. She did not indicate what type. I may have to find.
If that would be dry cereal or cereal with milk.
I will have to ask her in postgame. 37 points for Sara Scalia. That matches her career high. But Lexi Holtman not ready to retire just yet.
Right.
Forest Lake, we mentioned this in the open. If they can hit their threes, they can stay in it.
Right.
And Holtman does just that. But Sara Scalia has tied a career high with 37. The last time she had 37 points came in that Woodbury game.
And she doesn't even look like she's sweating. She just looks so easy.
So Alexis may have 1,000, but Sara just keeps adding and adding to that school record. And her family, as we told you many times, hoops junkies.
Mm-hmm.
That story on the Harvey Catchings jersey, I found out the real scoop. I talked with her father last week. Peter happened to find it in his collection and told Sara, hey, wear this. And they got the word out
There you go.
to the Catchings family. Sara was wondering, how did you find out about that? And I told her, well, being a broadcaster and reporter, sometimes you got to be on social media more than you want. Because every night I'm looking at game scores.
I'm going to use that as my excuse, too.
But big three-pointer for the Rangers. Now they're applying the full court. Pratt breaks it. And that's an offensive foul. Once again, Abby Leach set herself up in time.
He thought about that one, too?
So Pratt with her fourth.
She's got to pull up.
And a gutsy move by Abby Leach nonetheless, because she has 4.
Yeah.
If that had gone the other way, she's done. But the Rangers still have a lifeline. Holtman out to Leach.
Watch the middle, guys.
And you don't need a 3. Gronaway in trouble. The kick out. Forest Lake, they're eating up time. Stillwater staying on them. Oh, they had the back door, and Holtman threw it away.
That would have been so pretty.
Unfortunate. Now, if you're the Rangers, do you start playing the foul and chase game? Well, it looks like they're going to do just that. Holtman picks up her 3rd.
I don't know if you need to do that just yet.
Alexis Pratt, though, 68% free throw shooter, so
Okay.
even
Good
though
person to foul.
even though Stillwater's in the double bonus,
Yeah.
it's a calculated risk. I think Alexis has a few fans in the building. Pratt knocks down both.
Well, don't bail anybody out. Get back, play solid defense.
Right, if you're Stillwater, you don't need to foul anybody. Just
Sara will get underneath the basket.
Oh, Amber almost
Or
had the
Rachel
steal.
Hill.
That could have been a dagger. Gronaway through the hole, blows the layup again. Sarah's going to hang on to it. finds Alexis Pratt. And that's it for Abby Leach, and I think Pratt has finally picked up on what to do down low. What do we say about the pump fake?
Works every time.
Works every single time.
My daughter's killing herself because I love the pump fake.
Does she not like using pump fakes?
Well, she will, but I use it a lot more when I play against her, and she just hates it because it works every time.
How many times have we seen defenders bite on it?
Yeah. Especially when you're a smaller player with the ball and they're a bigger player, they just think they're going to.
Oh, no wonder why you
pummel
use the pump fake now. Why do you have to? Are you just? Are you secretly mocking Demaya's height?
No.
So Alexis Pratt, she's made her last 4 free throws. That should be enough for the Ponies here. And Sara Scalia may not get a career high tonight, but 37 points, 8 3-pointers.
Pretty impressive.
Exactly, and
pretty impressive.
And if you're Stillwater, this is a win. You'll take. You get a flip effectively from the first meeting, and
yep.
Again, this won't be for the conference lead. This may not have the same aura as Cretin-Roseville, which has been rescheduled to February 7th, but.
You think that's a big game?
Your daughter thinks it is, but this is an important win for the Ponies. They came back from 9 down, went on that 23 run.
Right.
And when this is an effort, this is a score, a result coaches are going to remember.
Right.
Even though it was a split. And for Forest Lake, they had their chances here. They just had some trouble converting bunnies in the closing minutes.
Yeah, just light, soft defense here. Everyone cover your man. Watch the slips.
No. Stillwater had a foul to give, though.
Yeah.
And that's just the 3rd on Rachel Wool, so it's a little consequence here. The one thing you don't want to do is give Forest Lake an open 3.
Yeah. Forest Lake has some nice inbound plays.
We've seen that many times in the second half. Well, and you don't want to do that either.
Yep.
Lindsey Johnson will go to the line. So that'll stop the clock with 50.3, but this is 1-1 range for the Rangers. Lindsey Johnson averaging 7.5 a game. And Lindsey Johnson will send a thank you card to the rim.
Right.
That one. But getting to the line, a key separator here. Stillwater 15 of 23. This is attempts 4 and 5 for the Rangers. And we've noted this before. Forest Lake, while they're great at shooting threes, if you the downside of that, Pratt trapped in the corner. Willie Taylor going to call the timeout.
And that's youth for you. Situations like this, guards you got to stay out of those corners. That's a trap. They're setting you up.
Stay away from the corners, stay away from the baseline, but it's harder than it looks.
Yeah.
Demaya has a suggestion on how to get out of those traps. Follow the volleyball lines. Don't go out of the volleyball lines and you'll be fine.
Unless you're running the lane on transition and you're away. But, okay.
Foul on Johnson. That will be your second. And that's going to send Amber Scalia to the line.
And Amber's getting a little clock tonight.
Amber has scored 9 points.
What's Amber's pregame meal? Is it listed?
Let's see. Noodles.
Okay.
I wonder if there's some sort of sponsorship tie-in.
Yeah.
That is the first free throw make, though, for the 8th grader. And we'll get one more year of the Scalias playing alongside each other, and the sky's the limit.
Right.
With the Scalia sisters. So Stillwater 17 of 25, even though that's just 68%, 17 of 25 is going to outnumber 5 of 5 any day.
Yeah.
We talked about making free throws, but you got to get to the line too. Holtman got open, missed the three-pointer, and that should be enough for the Ponies. All right, well, Sara Scalia is going to have a chance for a new career high.
Here we go.
I was wondering about that. But what would you make of the resilience from Stillwater? Because so many times we've seen them give up leads in the second half. Here, they fall by 9 and rally back.
Yeah. I think Sara just put the team on her back, and then they were able to feed off of her.
Nothing was going to stop Sara Scalia tonight.
Yeah. There we go.
New career high, 39 points.
Still doesn't look like she's even sweating.
So a pair of milestones tonight for the Ponies. A career high for Sara Scalia. Alexis Pratt joins the 1,000-point club. And
as
the Ponies,
as a freshman,
it helps when you played 2 years on varsity
Yes.
for North St. Paul. And more importantly for the Ponies, Alexis Pratt. We going to get an encore? Yes, we will. And given the difficulty she's faced down low,
right.
You know what? Why not? Some folks might say you're pouring it on, but you're open.
You know what? When you see the Stillwater team and you have Sara Scalia and Alexis Pratt, they're going to put it on anyway.
How many folks are going to pass up a wide open lane?
Right. You can't tell players like that not to play defense or not to score. That's what they do.
Especially when you're wide open.
Yeah.
And Alexis Pratt will get a chance to join the bench and receive the serenade she deserves. And that should do it. So Stillwater wins back-to-back and 6 of their last 8. A career high 39 for Sara Scalia. Alexis Pratt joins the 1,000-point club with 17. And Stillwater flips the script. They beat Forest Lake 70-57 to move to 10-8, 5-4 in conference play. Forest Lake falls to 4-5, 10-8 in overall. Final thoughts, LaToya?
This was a great game. Great game. 2 teams that match up very well. So I'm just happy I was able to see Alexa score her 1,000 point. And
I know you were a little bummed up at the prospect of not being able to see it, but
yeah. And then to
the basketball gods, we're listening to you
I know,
today.
and then Sara got off tonight. It was great.
So we'll try to get a word with the milestone markers, Sara Scalia and Alexis Pratt. Before we wrap things up, you're watching high school girls basketball. Stillwater defeats Forest Lake. And I'm joined by Stillwater's pair of milestone markers, Sara Scalia and Alexis Pratt. Sara, we'll start with you. Career high 39 points, 8 3-pointers. What did you eat or drink before the game?
I didn't eat or drink anything.
So what was the secret? How are you knocking so many down from long range?
Well, I just stayed focused the whole game, and yeah, I didn't get distracted.
You don't get distracted easily, do you?
No.
Well, let's just say your three-pointer from, I think, the red line and then sent LaToya and I into a frenzy. I think we were about ready to walk out after that. But, your team was down by 9. Then you step in, get them on a 10-0 run, and eventually pull away for a 13-point win. So when did you decide to activate that takeover gene?
Yeah, well, I just knew Forest Lake, we always wanted to beat them, and obviously they're a really good team. And so we just stuck with it the whole game and ended up winning. So
How gratifying is it after they used a three-pointer to knock you guys off the first time? You give them a little taste of their own medicine.
yeah, I mean, we just played well as a team this game, and got to give it credit to my teammates because we wouldn't have won without them.
You've now won 6 of the last 8. What would you say is the biggest factor in your recent success?
I just think our leaders are really stepping up, and our seniors, they're really being more vocal, and I think just as a team we're playing a lot better. And, yeah, we keep getting better each game.
So, with 39 points under your belt, when are we going to see 40?
You know, I don't know, just got to keep winning.
And that's the important thing. Alexis, it was not easy for you tonight. You had 5 first-half points, and Abby Leach and others were making the lane real difficult for you to penetrate, but you worked your way to 17. So how did you fight through those early struggles?
I was just trying to, I wasn't really, things weren't really going my way, so I had to look for Sara and other people to do things for me and help me.
When you go down by 9, was there any chat at that point, or what did you guys talk about to rally back?
We were just basically talking about our defense and the things that we really just had to work on and our more of communication and stuff like that.
What does it mean to have your former conference rivals in Tartan celebrate your 1,000-point achievement?
It's really great. They're all my best friends, so I'm very glad to have them here with me and to celebrate it with me.
You know, you were close, and then, you know, I was talking with you beforehand. You seemed to maintain your focus, but did you have any nerves or apprehension about closing in on that milestone?
I was a little nervous, but you know, they go away, so I was okay.
And after all of the difficulties the Forest Lake post players gave you down low, you know, how relieving was it? How cathartic was it when you got the steal and run out at the end of the game?
I don't know. I was just very happy. I wasn't trying to focus on nobody else. I was just trying to focus on making the layup. So.
Well, when you're all alone and nobody's in front of you, I suppose that's what you should do, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What does it mean to win 6 of the last 8, and what do you believe has helped Stillwater pick up those wins?
I think us talking more off the court and off the court, more of our defense and just like more coming together as a team and people becoming leaders.
So with 1,000 points officially in the books, is 2,000 your next goal, or what else are you hoping to accomplish?
Wins. Yeah.
That's a good thing. Well, and I think, well, maybe you can catch Sara in a year or 2.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably getting close to 2,000, but maybe we'll have a little bit of a in-house competition. But I think, as you said, the most important thing is you got the win, you battle back from 9 down, and that's been the biggest. I think that might be the biggest takeaway. Is early in the season you guys had a hard time maintaining leads. Here you come back, and we'll see if that momentum carries into the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone you want to say hi to?
Hi to all the fans that came out. Thanks for the support. Yeah.
Yeah, to my fans, or to the fans, to my mom and my dad.
Well, one thing's for sure, no snowstorm was going to stop you two tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, you two, hey, there's enough time you could go celebrate with some snow angels now that it's all done.
It's a little too cold. It's a little bit too cold outside.
Cold? That's like 25 degrees.
The wind was kind of blowing.
You want cold? I've been through cold. Last few Christmas, now that was cold. All right. I tease, of course. Congratulations on the win. Incredible effort from the two of you, and I'm sure more will be on the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Sara Scalia and Alexis Pratt. That wraps up our coverage here from the stable at Oak Park Heights. For our entire crew, I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for watching.